Hey, all right. Okay, we're here, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Hey, Borderline, how are you? Let's see if I can check this out here. We're going to be cooking some stir fry today, guys. Got my meat here and got everything set up over here. I hope you guys can see that. I'm streaming from my PC, so I can't take it around the kitchen, but we're going to make this work. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm just trying to get this right so I can see things on my phone. My PC is going to be a little bit further away from me. All right, I think that'll do it. Let's see here. Uh, okay. Not sure if that's going to work, but okay. Hey, Susan, how are you? We're just going to be cooking up some stir fry here. I've got my pork right here. So I'm going to be slicing it up. I'm going to do this step by step as much as possible. I'm going to have to step back away from the camera quite a bit because my stove is over there. My PC won't reach, but we're going to make it work, okay? I'm so glad you guys joined me today. And this is just pork stir fry with vegetables and broccoli. I'm going to make a teriyaki sauce to go on top of it. So you guys will get to see that. I'm glad you ate, huh? So you just want to slice this. I like to slice it really thin because I don't know if you notice or not, but typically when you cook meat, whether you stir fried it, no matter what you're doing, it kind of swells up it. So you want to slice it thin. I like it to be bite sized. So I'm just going to slice this up. And yes, I'm doing all my prep on camera today. Raw and unfiltered and unedited. Hey, how are you? Thank you for joining us today. Let's see, is it Kardapia? I hope I got that right. I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you for stopping in. I'm doing pork stir fry with vegetables and broccoli and teriyaki sauce. We are going to do everything. Hey, Volclam, how are you? So glad you stopped by. I'm just slicing up my meat. And yes, I'm going to be doing all the prep work step by step as we go. And you guys will see that typically when I do anything, I don't do a whole lot of measuring. So you guys are going to see that today. When I do the videos for you guys, I actually have to stop and take the measurements because I cook by taste mostly. So I don't need to measure everything out. But this is just boneless pork butt. And I'm just slicing it up. I don't know if you guys can see that, how thin that is. Just slicing it up so that when you eat it, you don't have to cut. It'll be already bite-sized. And I don't trim any of my fat off of it or anything. It's typically a little bit still on there because fat equals flavor. Now, if there was a big slab, like I see a little big piece over here, I'll cut that off. But for the most part, I kind of try to leave it on. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I've been having a little trouble with my mic lately. Hey, Chris, how are you? I am so glad you stopped in. I am cooking. If you look up there at the top, you guys network too and get to know each other and connect with each other. But I am cooking pork stir fry with vegetables, broccoli, with a teriyaki sauce that I'm going to make. Hey, Cole, how are you? Glad you stopped in too. I am making. You guys are going to hear me repeat this because as people stop in, I feel like I need to let them know what I'm cooking. So don't think I've lost my mind. So she keep repeating that. But we're cooking pork stir fry with vegetables and homemade teriyaki sauce. I'm just cutting up the meat right now. And yes, I'm going to be doing all my prep work on camera. So you'll see it. I haven't done anything yet. So we're going to be doing this. I'm doing good, cool. I'm doing good. How are you doing today? I hope everybody's doing good today. And I like to, as I said before, I like to cut this thin enough that you don't need to cut it while you eat. And yes, I leave some of this fat on because fat equals flavor. So I do not cut it all off unless I have, now over here I have a little bigger piece right here. So I will cut that off. But for the most part, I kind of leave it on there. good. I'm doing good. I just decided to go ahead and do a live cooking video. I had so many people asking me. I was doing some lives, and everybody would come on and ask me, "Well, when you gonna do a cooking live?" So I said, "Okay, you know what? I cook every day, all day, so I said I might as well just set it up and cook." And I hope you guys can see most of it. I'm going to be going back and forth between here and my stove is over there. But as I'm cooking, I'm going to actually bring my skillet over here to show you what's in it because I can't take the PC over there. That'd just be a little bit too much. But I do want you guys to see it. Hey, Dr. Fish, how are you doing? Glad you stopped in. I am cooking pork stir fry with vegetables and a teriyaki sauce. And I am doing all my prep work on camera. So you guys can see right now I'm just cutting my meat and I am cutting it thin. So for everybody that didn't get to see that, I'm cutting it thin. You guys keep networking and talking to each other because I'm gonna go back and forth and probably when I'm over at my stove, you guys will have to tell me if you can hear me from over there without me screaming bloody murder. So I'm just going to finish cutting this up. And after I cut it up, then I'm going to wash it off, let it drain a little bit. And before I start to wash it, I'm going to heat up my skillet because I'm going to go ahead and it's stir fry, so it's quick. And while this is cooking, I am going to cut up my vegetables that are going to go in there. The last thing that I'll be putting in will be the broccoli because I like all my vegetables to still have a crunch. I don't want no soggy, mushy vegetables. So I put that in, and literally the steam from it will pretty much cook it. It won't need very much. Now I'm going to cut this off because see, this is a little bit too much fat on there. So I'm going to cut that off and discard that. Just cut that little piece in half. And it's nothing fancy, guys. I'm just doing what I do every day here. Hope you guys will enjoy it. Hey, Benji, how are you? Glad you stopped in. I am doing pork stir fry with vegetables and homemade teriyaki sauce over noodles. I don't know if I said that. I keep saying I'm doing the stir fry with vegetables, but it's going to be over noodles, guys. And I'm going to get those cooking too. We're going to cook everything together. I'm so glad y'all stopped in to help me do this today. It's just fabulous. Have all you guys out there. Okay, so that's done. You guys can see that. That's my meat all cut up there. So I'm just going to rinse it off and let it drain. I'm not leaving you guys. I'm just over here at my sink. I'm pretty sure you can hear the water. Put it in this bowl right here. Just let it sit there, drain a little bit. Done with that cutting board. I'm going to wash off my knife because this is my favorite knife, so I'm going to keep using it. I'm going to wash it first. Okay, so we're going to just let this drain a little bit. I am going to go over here to the stove and turn on my pot or skillet rather so it can get hot. And we can get ready to cut up the vegetables. I am going to be putting in here purple onion, celery, carrots, and red bell pepper. Hey, Christy, how are you? So glad you stopped by. I am doing pork stir fry over noodles with vegetables. Putting this in, I'm going to put some broccoli in. And guys, I'm going to use some sesame oil to stir fry my pork in. It's just toasted sesame oil. That's what I'm going to use to toast the, not toast, but to cook my meat in over here. Put this over here, so don't forget. Since I'm doing this live, my skillet is actually on medium high. If I wasn't doing this live, I'd have it up on high because I'd probably be over there with it right now. But since I'm going back and forth, I got it on medium high, so I'm going to let it heat up kind of slowly there. while I just cut up these vegetables right quick. Let me get my other cutting board. I like to use these little clear cutting board things. I don't know, I get them from the dollar store because I throw them out. I just like to use them for my vegetables and stuff, then I can get rid of them when I'm done. So we're going to start with our celery here. You guys can see this real good. Put the skin off, put that in off because I don't need that part. And I like for it to be still in bite-sized pieces because who wants to pick up a big old piece of celery and have to feel like they have to cut it? So I'm just going to cut this kind of small because when I eat it together, I want it to be all together without me feeling like I got this big old giant piece of celery in my mouth or carrot or onion or anything else. And you can dice it any way you want, actually. I just cut it straight down. Nothing fancy, not doing anything fancy here. Just get it cut. Hey, how are you, Scotty? So glad you came in. And Rob, how are you today? How you guys doing? Scotty, I am cooking pork stir fry with vegetables and broccoli with the homemade teriyaki sauce over noodles. Hey, Boogie Time, how are you? How are you? Healthy, health delicacy. Okay. How you doing there? I'm so glad you stopped in. Yes, I'm doing good. I hope everybody else is doing good. I have already cut up my pork. I sliced it kind of thin. It's for everybody that's just coming on. I sliced it thin so that when I cook it, it's in bite-sized pieces and you don't need to be cutting nothing else up. I'm just letting it drain here. I got my stove over there heating it up, and I'm going to just quickly stir fry that meat in some toasted sesame oil. Then we'll be adding our vegetables in there and make the teriyaki sauce. Now, I actually put my broccoli in last, and then I will cover it up. I'll let it cook for maybe about 5 minutes. Then I'll cover it up, and I'll let the steam pretty much finish it from there. Like that little piece. So I'm just cutting these up, as you guys can see, in small pieces because, like I said, I like my food to be bite-sized unless it's not steak potatoes. I'm supposed to be cutting it. I don't want to stir fry with a big old piece of celery in it like that unless I'm going to strain it and strain my sauce or something off of it or something like that. And yes, I'm doing all my prep work right here with you guys. So I'm so glad y'all stopped in. This is just wonderful. I should have did this a long time ago. So here I have some carrots. I'm gonna do the same thing. I like to kind of cut those on the bias on a little slant. And it just looks nice to me. That's all. No big deal. You don't have to. Again, these are going to be in, and I am not one of those fancy knife pieces, so you're not going to see me go chop, 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 chop. I wish. I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. Now, if it's something small, sometimes I can go real fast, but other than that, we're just getting it done here, guys. We're just getting it done. I am not a chef with super duper knife skills. So we're just going to get it cut. And that's good because I want you all to realize you can do it too. I'm not doing anything that you can't do. And my carrots, see, they're just bite-sized pieces of carrots. Put all this in my tray right here. I'm just mixing it all up. There's nothing even separated. Get all these carrots chopped up here. My onion and my bell pepper. Sometimes I do this in strips just because of stir fry. But today, we're doing regular chops. I just want to make sure it's all pretty much the same. That's the biggest thing. You just want to make sure, like your celery, your carrots, they're about the same size. They'll cook at the same time. I don't want any mushy vegetables, so I'm not going to cook it to death. And if you guys got any questions as I go along, ask. I'm going to keep looking at my screen here and just ask away. And I will surely tell you. as we go along. Uh-oh, dropped my bell pepper in the sink, guys. We got to get that washed off again. I'm going to go ahead and cut it since it failed. And let me get a different knife. Skillet's working on getting hot over there. I'm going to turn it up in a minute. I like to use a smaller steak knife to get my ribs out. It's just simpler and easier to me. And they tend to just come on out of there. See? Bigger knife, not so much. So I got one little piece. I don't know if you guys can see that. I got one little piece left in there. I'm just pulling it out with my hands. And then it's empty. Now, if you want to stuff them, this is the time to stuff them. This is the way you want to have it so you can stuff it. Some people cut it the other way to stuff it, but I tend to cut it that way. We're just going to get in here and make sure our bell pepper is cut up. And we'll cut up our onion. I'm going to go turn the skillet up so that it'll be ready to stir fry the meat. So y'all don't have any questions for me yet? Okay. And let's see, that's enough of that. Put this over here. And the onion the same way. It's just a red, purple onion. I don't know, some people call it red, some people call it purple. It's purple to me. One big giant slice. Like that. That's it. Let me turn my skillet on. Okay, it's going to be ready for me to put my meat in just a minute. Hey, DFW, I am so glad you stopped in. I am cooking pork stir fry with vegetables and broccoli with a homemade teriyaki sauce over noodles. So I've got all my veggies cut up. As you see, I just piled them in here. They're going to all go in at the same time. And it's nothing fancy. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do this one. Another little chop here. Cut in half. I'm going to see if my skillet is ready. I'm going to go over here. Get my hands washed up from cutting that up. Yeah. Hey, bag scratcher. I miss saying hi to you. I want to say hey. Hey, inspiration. How are you? Hope you guys are doing well. I am cooking pork stir fry with vegetables, broccoli, homemade teriyaki sauce, and I've got my meat all cut up now. We are going to go over here, and as a matter of fact, because I have a hot skillet, I'm going to take some paper towels and dry it off just a little bit more. Since it didn't drain a long time. Just dry it off a little bit more, just so when it hits that hot oil, it won't hit me too. Just take a paper towel and dab it, that's all. Hey, you guys doing okay? Okay, let's get this in the skillet. And while that is going to start cooking, I am going to put my water on for my noodles. I think I'm done pretty much cutting stuff up, so I'm going to remove this as well. I never use my butcher block cutting board, guys. I always put another cutting board on top of it. It takes so much to clean and sanitize this thing that I just tend to pretty much just use a cutting board on top of it. I like it though. Yes, yes. Anybody else I miss saying hey to? Want to catch all of you guys. Okay, let's see. Getting ready to cook my noodles. Just got a pot of water. I don't know if you guys can see that. Getting ready to put it on with some salt and let it rip. And my broccoli, I kind of cut the florets up a little bit smaller because, again, I want them to be bite-sized. So they're all ready, but I'm going to put some salt in this water for my noodles. Personally, I don't think it matters when you put the salt in. I've heard people say let it start boiling and then put the salt in. And I've heard people say put the salt in and again. I put it in when I think about it. Just thought about it, so I'm going to put it in. And while that's cooking and the water's boiling for the pasta, I'm going to go ahead and get started on my teriyaki sauce. Now, once my meat gets done, I'm going to drain it again because I don't want, at the end of the day, I don't want the stir fry to be oily. So if you don't want it to be oily, once your meat cooks, you need to put it in a colander or something and get it drained, get that oil drained off of it, and then you can put it back in the bowl. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and make some teriyaki sauce. This is just a cup of water. So let me get the rest of my ingredients. And actually, before I do that, guys, my meat is actually done. So I am going to, I'm going to drain it first. Sorry, my phone rang and I looked at it. Then we can just set that aside. If you guys can see that, it's all done. And I don't know, can you see that? I'm trying to show you that oil down in there. That's a lot of oil because some of it just came out of the meat. So I'm going to actually put it in the strainer. So see guys, it's all strained out there. It's all strained out. So now I'm gonna just put it right back in the same pot. Just wanted to get that oil out of there so we can add our vegetables and stuff. Now I'm going to go ahead, or I did already, put my skillet on low. So I'm going to add my vegetables all at once right now. I just want you guys to see how this looks. I don't know if you can see that real good. See how that looks? Now that I got the vegetables mixed in, and these vegetables are not going to actually cook. First of all, I have this it on low over here. They're not going to actually cook till I make the sauce, pour the sauce over it, and then they're going to start cooking into the sauce. But like I said, I want some texture with my food, so I don't want any mushy vegetables. I want the vegetables to come out. Well, I don't want them crunchy either. I don't want to feel like I'm biting into some corn chips, but I do want some texture. I want that bite with them. So there you have that. Okay, so we've got ginger, garlic, soy sauce, measuring cups, and some brown sugar here. We're going to put all this together. Then we're going to cook it in a small pot just for a minute or two so that it can all combine really well. Get my little saucepan here ready. Just a small pan will do for that. But you're gonna need about this is going to be the teriyaki sauce, and this is a cup of water. And this is soy sauce, and I'm gonna use a fourth of a cup. And I know I said I didn't measure, but this is the sauce, so I'm gonna measure for you guys. If I was just making this for myself on the stove, I would have put the water in the pot. I would have stirred there with the soy sauce, and I would have been like, then with this is ginger and garlic, I would have been like, so this is brown sugar, I would have been like, so I'm just letting y'all know, most of the time, I don't do anything fancy. So I'm gonna put about a tablespoon, that's what's not gonna fit in there, this is half a tablespoon. So I'm gonna put about half, this is the ginger, I'm gonna use a half a teaspoon of ginger in here. And half a teaspoon of garlic. Now you can put honey in here if you like. I typically don't because the brown sugar is enough sugar for myself. Let me get a spoon right quick. Stir this. And guys, I don't know if you just saw me put that top on that pot over there, but that's the pot for the water for the pasta. If you want your pot to boil faster, just put a top on it. Put the top on it. It'll kick up and go ahead and boil. I'm gonna put 3 tablespoons of brown sugar in here. Now, when it comes to the brown sugar, you can put brown sugar and honey. You can put brown sugar. You're gonna have to do it to your taste. I am not gonna have this as an overly sweet teriyaki sauce. One thing I like about buying is just a tablespoonful of each. 3 of those, and should be enough. Then, as we're cooking it, what we're going to do is take a little cornstarch to thicken it up a little bit. stove on over here. And I typically don't need any other seasoning directly on my meat or anything because the sauce is going to be more than enough, especially with the soy sauce in there as far as salt is concerned. So I rarely add anything to it. If I'm running out of soy sauce and I don't have that much or something, I might add a little bit then, but otherwise I'm not going to add too much to it. I'm just stirring this up to mix it and pour it on in my pot. And then we're going to put this on. I'm going to actually turn it up to high just until I see it start to boil. I don't want it to actually fully boil, but just till it starts to a little bit, getting ready to boil. When you kind of start seeing the bubbles at the bottom before they come up, then I'm going to turn it down on low, stir it for a little bit. Then I'm going to add my cornstarch. When I add my cornstarch, it's going to be about a tablespoon of cornstarch to maybe a fourth of a cup of water. I'm going to put it in the same glass dish. I'm not going to rinse it out because it's got soy sauce in it, and we need that. So I put that top on my pasta pot, and it's boiling already. So see, if you want your stuff to boil faster, you have to sit there and wait to stick a top on it. So I'm going to go ahead and put my pasta in first. That's another thing, guys. When I say pasta noodles, this is just noodles. This is spaghetti noodles. I don't know if that's backwards. Yeah, spaghetti noodles. I'm not using anything fancy, nothing fancy, just some spaghetti noodles. Okay, when I put them in my pot, I like to break them in half, unless I'm having actual spaghetti or something where I'm going to twirl it around my pot. I like to break them in half because they still expand and there's still a lot to twirl on. That's why, if you guys notice, in the stores now, they literally sell pasta in the half size because it's easier for home cooks to cook because most of us not going to pull out a big giant pot to cook some spaghetti. And if you break it in half, it fits just fits better in your dish at the end of the day. So that's why they're actually selling half. But you know, I'm not going to pay another extra dollar for half when I can break it myself. You guys will know if you keep looking at me, I'm cheap. So there you have it. Another thing, guys, nothing fancy. This is just the pasta, and I'm just going to break it in half. Put my hands closer to the middle. That's it. It's not perfectly even, but it's okay. And you're going to keep your pasta at a rolling boil. And it's just me. I don't think it actually matters. I like to stir my pasta when I first put it in there to make sure it doesn't stick together. I just want to stir it for a few minutes, and then I go back periodically and keep stirring. So now we're going to put the sauce on the stove top too. So while that is going, which is my sauce. Get the sauce on now. We have the pasta on now. And the meat and the vegetables are over there on low. I will not put the broccoli in until after the sauce has been in there for a while. So now I'm going to take this cornstarch so we can thicken up our sauce a little bit. Now I'm going to put a tablespoon of cornstarch in here and about a fourth of a cup of water and stir it up real good. Cold water. You want cold water and you want to stir it and stir it and stir it until this is completely smooth. Then when you get ready to put it in your pot for your sauce or whatever you're putting in to thicken up, you want to bring your pot all the way up to a rolling boil and then slowly pour it in. If you do not do that and your pot is on low, it's going to clump up. Then you're going to have clumps. Now, if you want, you can get the clumps out. If you get some clumps of cornstarch in whatever you make, one time will take the clumps out. The longer it cooks, they will automatically come out. But if you have something that you can't cook that long and you need to get it off the stove or it's going to turn into mush, then you want to take, let me put this in here first so I can show you. While it's cooking, sit that over there. While it's cooking, you need to get some clumps out. Say this is cooking, you need to get some clumps out. Take the back of a spoon and find the clump and press the clump up against the pot. Keep pressing the clumps up against the pot to break them up and stir. And that will get your clumps out of it. So I'm going to add some water to this. My phone's ringing. I'm going to hit that button so those people will go away. Sending people away. So I'm just stirring it up until it's nice and smooth. That's what you want it to be. It's nice and smooth. Hey, beautiful queen. So glad you joined us. Yay, Lizzie. Hey, how are you doing? Glad you are here. Yes, thank you, Boogie Time. You guys, please thumb up the stream and share it out. Share it out. Also, too, you guys got any questions as I go along? Just ask. I'm gonna put this cornstarch in here. Check on everything over at the stove. I'm gonna let that sauce cook just a few minutes, and then I'm gonna show you. You'll know when your sauce is ready because it should kind of stick to the back of the spoon. So when you put your spoon in there and you take it out, your spoon should be covered a little bit. It shouldn't just be completely clear. Get rid of that. Cornstarch. Like to kind of keep a clean working area, so I'm gonna straighten up while that's cooking. I'm gonna just let the sauce reduce a little bit, and then we'll be able to pour it on into the pot too. This sauce real good. Don't really need the top on the sauce. Only thing we'll have left to do is put our broccoli in. Let the noodles cook. And then, guess what, guys? We get to plate. Woo! We get to plate. So who else has joined the stream? How you guys doing out there? Y'all doing okay? Can you guys see me at the stove pretty good? Yes, you did come to my house today and ring the doorbell. And guess what? You got in. Yes. Yes. I'm so glad to see all of you all. I'm so happy. You know what, guys? I'm going to go ahead and put my broccoli in. Typically, I put it in after I put the sauce in, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in while the sauce is reducing a little bit. I don't necessarily want to reduce to half, but I do want it to reduce at least a fourth, so it can thicken up a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and put this in so that we don't have to wait for it to cook after the sauce and everything is done. It can be kind of doing that now. And I still have to put the top on it and let it simmer for a few minutes, but it won't be that long. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you guys. You guys make sure you hit that thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Leave me some comments. Nobody's asked me some questions. I know somebody got a question for me. Or either I'm explaining this pretty good. I hope so. Since I can't bring you all over to my stove, I'll bring my stove over to you guys. And I just want you to see what it looks like as I'm cooking. I put the broccoli in now, and this is what it looks like before I put the sauce in there. So it's just got that's broccoli, and it's red bell pepper with some purple onion, red onion, and some celery is in here. And then I just put the broccoli in here. So this is what the stir fry looks like before the sauce. Then we'll put the sauce on it, and then we'll plate it over the noodles. Okay, the sauce is just about ready. It's going to reduce a little bit more while it's cooking, but I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't know if you can see it sticking to the spoon. So, but it's sticking to the spoon. It's not terribly thick, but you also don't want it thick. It's a sauce with teriyaki sauce. So, but if you can't see that, the back of the spoon is covered with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the sauce in because the noodles still have a couple. I just tasted one. The noodles still have a couple of minutes to cook. So I'm gonna put that in. Hey, Trendy C, how are you? And let me see, who else did I miss? Game with Jimmy, how are you doing? Hello. I'm so glad y'all stopped in. You guys don't know how happy I am y'all stopped in. You really don't. Thank you so much. And you know what, guys? I got my top on there, but I actually had more meat than I thought I did. So I'm going to make another whole batch of sauce because I personally like a lot of sauce. I don't think I have enough on there. So we're just going to do that one more time. Except for this time. Except for this time, I'm going to use a half a cup of water. And the reason I'm going to use a half a cup of water, I'm going to use a half a cup of water this time as opposed to a cup of water. The reason I'm using a half a cup of water, all the other ingredients are going to stay the same because I won't need to probably add the cornstarch because it's not as liquidy. So I just want to add a little bit more to what I have. Pour a cup of soy sauce. Put that in there. Y'all know I put my measuring spoons in the sink, so we'll get some more. And 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. This is a half a tablespoon, so you guys want to see me do it 6 times, not 3. I am not miscounting. I don't know where my other tablespoon is. Both my children that are still at home love to cook. They are both managers of major restaurants. And so therefore, my utensils and things go missing. And guess what, guys? I lost count. So we're gonna call that. Okay. And my ginger and my garlic. And get this stirred up, get it heated up, and we're gonna pour it right on in. And get my pot. Same pot, good thing I didn't put it in the sink. So, this in. And let it heat up. Hey, Jewish, how you doing there? And because I want my sauce to go ahead and cook some, I'm going to put a top on it as well. Check and see how my noodles are doing in a second. I'm gonna straighten up again. I have to keep my kitchen straight. You need a good clean workstation. These up. And then after the sauce gets in here and cooks a little bit, then we should be good to go. And my pasta is actually done. So I'm going to go ahead and drain it. And a lot of people do not. A lot of people do not rinse their pasta off. I rinse mine off a little bit because I like to rinse it with cold water. That way, it stops the cooking process. So if you need to let it sit a minute, it won't be cooking and get mushy. Woo. Okay, put it right back in the pot. Okay, our sauce almost boiled over there while I'm over here draining some pasta. And let's see. Hey, hey, QB, how are you? How are you doing today? So glad you stopped by. Thank you so much. You guys give me a thumbs up, leave me some comments, share it out. I really appreciate this. This has been really fun. I'm gonna do this more often, guys. I didn't realize it was gonna be this much fun. It is. Let me see how the sauce is going. Let's see. And guys, I had said that I didn't think I would need to thicken this second batch of sauce, but it looks like I do. We'll just put more cornstarch in it, let it get thickened. Forget to cornstarch, you want cold water. Now I need another spoon. Wash my hands off. I keep washing those hands constantly. I hope you guys are doing okay. All right. Add cold water to the cornstarch. Make sure you stir it until it's completely smooth. Cold water, not hot water. I've already turned the pot up, so it should be boiling. If not, in a second, I pour this in. Oh yeah, it's good. Because I had less water, it thickened up immediately. You guys can see that on the back of that spoon. See that? See, it's a little bit thicker. On the back of the spoon, it's sticking to the back of the spoon there. All right, I'm gonna pour this on in too. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm gonna try to show it to you with the sauce in there. I'm gonna let it cook just a couple of seconds here, and then we're gonna plate it up. Then I'm gonna have to say goodbye because guess what, guys? I'm going to eat. Get our dish ready. And we're going to plate this up in just a couple of seconds here. I hate to tell you guys, but I'm going to eat. Thank you, cool. Thank you. I'm not through yet. I'm going to plate it up. But yes, I can't wait. I'm hungry. Yes. And that didn't take too long. It took about, I guess, if I wasn't online and talking and everything, probably would have taken me about 30 minutes to do. So it's a fairly quick meal. It's a fairly quick meal. Anybody would like some? Can I pass anybody a dish? Can I pass anybody a plate? Raise your hand. Let me see a show of hands if you guys would like to taste it. Oh my goodness. I am so glad that you all came by, stopped by. Oh, I'm gonna put it in the plate. I'm not done yet. This is the plate. I'm waiting on the sauce just to cook just a little bit, Christy, and I'm going to plate her up. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use a saucer so you guys can kind of really see it with the noodles because I don't know if you can be able to see it in the bowl. Okay, I think we are pretty much ready to plate, guys. Woohoo! Use this so you guys can see it a little bit better. And I like to put my pasta going around. Okay, so I will put a little of my sauce down first. Right in the middle. Yeah, a little bit more sauce on that. Okay. Stir fried, pork stir fry over noodles with homemade teriyaki sauce. I hope you guys enjoyed me cooking. I surely enjoyed you guys. Please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, share it out. Connect with me if you have not subscribed. Hit that bell so you'll get notified. I am going to eat. Thank you guys for stopping by. See you next time.